Hello from Ottawa, where the local NHL franchise isn't all that hot in the standings, but they got some young guys, and they can fly. And man, there's a test to be had here. Yeah, I know. Another one. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates, where you found this. Pens and Sens at 7:08 p.m. at Canadian Tire Center, well west of the actual city, which is a constant complaint of mine, because the city is just so nice, and they stick this rink out like in the middle of nowhere. It'd be like having the Penguins play in Greensburg or something. But anyway, I digress, because what's going to matter both here tonight and then back home Friday night is how the Penguins carry themselves against yet another fast, young team, the likes of which they've not matched up well against. And I could even go ahead and throw in the Devils this weekend, except that the Devils are a good team. Like, the Devils have a lot of good stuff going on. And you know what? There's a part of me, don't take this the wrong way, okay? There's a part of me that thinks that this team would actually benefit, both short-term and long-term, from having this specific shortcoming get repeatedly exposed. Meaning the one where they can't see. If it sounds like I'm struggling to share this concept, it's because when I know that when I say young, fast team, and that it's a good test for the Penguins, the first thing that'll cross everyone's mind is, oh, they're old. Well, they are old, but the older guys on the Penguins have actually been the productive ones. And they aren't the issue, in my opinion. And this is where this gets a little bit convoluted. My feeling is that if this team had high octane, high energy, there's that word again, third and fourth liners, they could sufficiently wear down any opponent they face, including these young whippersnapper Senators and Devils and Hurricanes and so forth, and allow the main guys to just do their damage. Go and do your thing. It doesn't have to be all that complicated, and you don't ever want or need to be asking the Sid line or the Gino line to be the one that gets you going from that energy standpoint. It should be the third and fourth liners. And look, Mike Sullivan's done some stuff this week. It's not much. He moved Teddy Bluger to the third line. He moved Jeff Carter to wing. Both of those were things I was advocating for. Great. He brought up a player, well, Ron Hextall did, from Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Jonathan Gruden was an energy guy. I was also in favor of that. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I'm against any of that. But this ain't it still. It's just not. It's just not. Go ahead and build out of this assemblage here any third and fourth line that you want in any formation, and you're not going to have your answer. Same way you're not going to have your answer by having Carter in any kind of capacity hold defensive responsibilities. Same way you're not going to advance anywhere with Brian Dumoulin taking a regular shift on your defensive court. It's just not going to happen. This shortcoming needs to continue being exposed. And you will see, again, you're not going to see a great hockey team here tonight, meaning the Senators. But you will see energy. You will see Brady Tkachuk out there, and you will wonder what the Penguins would be like if they had a Brady Tkachuk. You will see Tim Stützle as first-line center. And granted, Stützle's a number 2 overall pick who made it into the league right away at 18 years old. This is a terrific talent. But you'll see him and say, man, it'd be really neat if the Penguins had some young talent like that. This is the situation they're in after the multiple cups. I can respect that part of it. The part that I can't respect and can't understand is looking at your third and fourth line and just shrugging it off like, oh, well, there's nothing coming from Brock McGinn. but oh well. There's nothing coming from Danton Heinen, but oh well. You can't do that. You can't do that. In the interim, maybe the Penguins can go about scraping away points like they did from the lowly Ducks a couple nights ago back home. Fine, they can do that. And maybe they'll pull that off here. Maybe they'll run into, some dubious goaltending, whether it's against the Senators or later on against the Devils. But ultimately, they're going to have to overcome that thing, the elephant in the room right now. Not just that they can't beat younger, faster teams. It's that they can't beat more energetic teams. Brandon Tanev's not a kid. But if Brandon Tanev was on the Pittsburgh Penguins right now, he'd make a significant difference. And you probably wouldn't even be worrying about their age, like at all. When we come back, J1Q. Comes from Zachary, who says, I know I love my Pens, but is it way too optimistic to believe in this team still? I mean, heck, they still have the most depleted defensive line in hockey. They have a backup goaltender as a starter. I can't help but think about December, though, when they were all healthy. Always have faith. You know what, Zachary, I want to be there, okay? I want to be there with you, and I respect the fact that you brought up the injuries that they have. They still have significant injuries. Now, Jan Ruda didn't make the trip here to Ottawa for this game tonight. That's not going to help either. You were already missing Chris Letang, Jeff Petrie, different guys at different points. It's a banged-up group. That's real. Tristan Jarry did make the trip. It's not expected that he's going to play tonight. In fact, that would be quite the surprise, considering he's really yet to have an all-out type practice with the team following his injury. But those are real factors. They're not excuses. They're real. And at the same time, I'm not going to lie here, man. When I go back to that month that you're referring to, everything pretty much up until the Christmas break, this thing I'm describing was still missing. You still weren't getting anything, hardly anything, from your third or fourth lines. And I'm not just talking about goals. I'm not talking about the once every 3 months Kasperi-Kapanen hat trick, okay? I'm not talking about those little runs that Heinen will get on. I'm talking about just that energy. That still wasn't there. What you saw in that month that you're referencing was the power play go berserk. And those guys aren't on the power play. They have nothing to do with the power play. What you saw was Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Jake Gensel and Ricard Raquel and Brian Rust and Jason Zucker and all those guys produce a lot of goals. You didn't see the energy. You didn't see that fire, that desire. I haven't seen a whole lot of that from this team since the game in Winnipeg way back in November. It's happened on occasion. Game against the Rangers at home kind of jumps out, at least after the first period. But for the most part, there hasn't been a whole lot of it. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to apologize for this. I'd almost rather see them lose over the next 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, games, if they were to find a way to get this back. Show me that you can buzz around and fly around with the Ottawas and the New Jerseys. Show me that. Show me that you've got a third line and fourth line that I am right now wrong about. I'm happy to be wrong about that. I don't believe that I will be, and I'm pretty sure you don't feel that way either. Something's going to have to make Ron Hextall move. You know, he's going to have to acknowledge that this is a very real need for this team. And I'm not sure what that's going to take. I appreciate the question. I appreciate the spirit with which the question was delivered. And I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. I'm covering the game here tonight. We'll have another one of these here for you tomorrow.